So let's talk about phones. Do we think phones can cause cancers? I mean, it's a bit controversial, so there's still studies ongoing at present as to if phones can really cause cancer. In America, the phone companies have actually been sued because there's been a few people with brain cancers, so they're now suing the companies, saying, your phone caused me brain cancers, like your gliomas and your meningiomas. So the companies have hired high-top lawyers, to fight this. The argument they're saying is basically brain tumors have been on a different, because some people use phones mainly on the left, but the brain tumors have been on the right, so lawyers are arguing that. Also, they're arguing the fact that the amount of time they spend on the phone is not much different from the amount of time someone else who doesn't have the cancer spends on the phone as well. So there's no proof that, these cause the cancers. But however, there is a disclaimer, like they're advised to, not use the phone at a certain distance from the head. So, for those who use the phone all the time, if you fall asleep on the phone by your side, you're putting yourself at risk. So now I've got also with children as well, okay? Because with children, the brains are not properly developed yet. The immune system is a bit weak. I know we now live in an era where, we give our children's phones for safety, but make sure that they're not overusing the phones. Make sure that they're using the phone correctly. There's also an argument that the light radiation, even just looking at your phone, the light radiation from the phone can cause eye cancer. There's been one reported case of a melanoma of the eye, just because of the green light radiation. But again, these are isolated cases. So until you find a good proportion, it's very difficult to prove. So there was a lady who tucked the phone in the bra, and they found out that she had breast cancer on that side. Now, is it the phone or is it not the phone? It's difficult to prove, but what the medics did, when they plotted the dots, they found out that the breast cancer cells were along the same line, as the dots. Play the video.
In December of 2009, I first met Donna. She was very healthy, vigorous, athletic, no predisposing factors for cancer. Family history was negative. From everything I could see, there was no obvious explanation for this young woman to have a breast cancer, particularly a multifocal breast cancer. And the only possible association I could identify was that she had a habit of always carrying her cell phone under her right brassiere strap. Breast cancers are characteristically diagnosed in women in their 50s and 60s. The Asian population have a lower incidence overall. Due to Donna's young age, lack of risk factors, multifocal disease, Asian history, normal medical history with no predisposing factors, I would say that she would be an unusual case.
I don't have any history of breast cancer in my family, and I also had the BRCA1 and BRCA2 genetic tests conducted on me, and it came up negative. So I don't have the genetic mutations for breast cancer. And with each following doctor appointment, it seemed like as if they kept finding another tumor and another tumor. We connected the dots of where the locations of the tumors were based off the biopsy. We made marks on me of where the location of the tumors were and realized that it formed the shape of the cell phone underneath the footprint of the phone or where I used to keep it.
When they did the imaging, the MRI and the mammogram, the ultrasound, we saw this unusual distribution of these little bitty tumors that were pretty much in the same general distribution of the rectangular cell phone. And when we finally did do our mastectomy, we saw this very unusual pattern where these multiple small cancers were confined to the upper inner aspect of the breast. And so I've never seen anything quite like this. And of course, there's no proof that it causes cancer. But again, the manufacturer said, don't keep it in contact with your skin. And we have this anecdotal information that makes me very nervous. And if I had a daughter, believe me, I would counsel her against doing this. And we've really promoted the concept.
If there is even a small possibility that the thermal or piezoelectric effect or other pulse electromagnetic field influences could even remotely influence the behavior, biology, and possible carcinogenicity in this setting, I would urge people to avoid exposure.